Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome in. We're back. It's been a while. You're watching the Miniature Football Bowl Championship Series. This is the Big Ten right here on the Gridiron Buzz Network. We've got a heck of a game for you. It's the Big Ten finale of the season. Kicking things off with us, we've got Tom Ruesink and the Bobby Moore.
The Bobby Moore. Welcome in, folks. Sit back, relax. We chose this game. We handpicked this game to be what's called subprime game. We have another game following on after this. It will be the ACC Championship, the one that's been muchly anticipated between the number 1 Cincinnati Bearcats and the number 3 Syracuse Orangemen. But for now, we have a really close matchup. These two teams are 8-3. Hawaii won a narrowly 2-point victory, I believe. Nearly went to overtime late in the game. I think they kicked a field goal to actually win the game in regular season. So Tom Ruesink, Bobby Moore, there are two. Bobby's been around for a while now, and he's learned his lesson as far as how to become a very experienced and dangerous coach. You don't get to be 8-3 in this league and make it to a championship game in any division unless you can play. Now, Tom, on the other hand, is kind of a throwback to the old days. Took a break from it like so many of us did, and now he's come back here in the last couple of years. We saw him the brawl up at the Hall of Fame in Canton. Saw him there a couple of years ago. He travels a couple others. We saw him in Kansas City. So don't sleep on either one of these coaches. So what we have here, the Bison, North Dakota, opening up on the 25-yard line. First play from scrimmage. And it looks like they're going to... He had a complete pass here. He had a run coming up. Looks like he's going right between the guards here. The safety, All-American safety from Hawaii, William Mayaga, has come up and made the tackle here. So it's going to be, looks like a short gain of 1, brings up 2nd and 9.
We do have an official timeout. We're gonna all of these boards, and we'll be talking about them throughout the weekend. They are they've never been played on before. They're brand new, so there's a couple fine adjustments that are happening. So if you're seeing folks your players on the screen move, don't panic. Nothing's really happening other than the giant earthquake. They're just tweaking out a motor. We do have official referees here, so we'll get it done.
Freshly minted boards. We spent the last 3 months in the shop cranking out 16 major bowl boards, 5 conference championships, the national championship board, several others. We come loaded for the war in the room today, to this evening. Had nearly 30 boards on our back in the horse trailer, but it didn't seem to matter. It just walked its way. We drove through a hurricane to get here. It wasn't quite the wind we were expecting, but a lot of heavy rain coming all the way across Arkansas out of Nashville to get here. Some 10.5, 11-hour drive. We made it here safely last night. None the worse for wear, a little bit tired. Looks like it's going to be a loss of about 2.5 here, so bringing up on 2nd and 12, and we'll get our stuff here together.
I don't know about you, but I'm excited. This is the first time we've been out since late February. The last one was the Deep South Championships. We had this ugly thing called COVID, and man, I'm pumped and ready to be back in this. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got 10 games to broadcast this entire weekend. One now, one a little bit later. So hang with us, folks. It's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of great football action right here on the Gridiron Buzz Network. We're pumped, excited. We're hoping you're excited. Hope everybody's out there enjoying the Friday night safely. We've got plenty of social distancing going on, even in the booth. This might be the biggest booth area we've ever had, but I'm super pumped and ready to get this thing rolling. So we're on to 2nd and 12. We've got a rolling clock, 45-minute halves. Both coaches have 2 timeouts per, and looks like we've got a pass. We've got a little quarterback rollout is what we're looking at there. And you'll see a few new angles. We're trying a few new things to kind of capture more of the field and let you guys see more of the action going on. So feel free to comment, like, share. We definitely appreciate all the support we can get. We want to make this the best viewing broadcast for you. So if you're having difficulties hearing us, if there's something going on, don't be shy. We've got thick skin. It'll be just fine. And that pass is complete at the 25.
And as always, if you like what we're doing, tell everybody. If you don't like what we're doing and something's wrong, only tell us and we'll try to fix it. So we're off and running here, 2020 inaugural season of the MFBCS. We're Dallas, Texas, in a really, really nice hotel in South Lake. We just come off a big old, look like 3-inch thick steak dinner.
Oh man,
everybody's
starved.
fed, almost ready for a nap now, but we're excited enough to want to get these games done. The format for this evening is all the conference championships are going off tonight. We'll have a second game for you, the ACC game, as we mentioned earlier. And then come tomorrow, we'll actually start the kind of the winner-take-all, if you will, March Madness type tournament. We were expecting somewhere around 35 to 40 coaches. It looks like we're around the 25 mark or so. So there's going to be some buys involved tomorrow, simply because a lot of people have chose to be safe and stay home, and you can't really blame them. This is an unprecedented year that we're staying in here and trying to play. But we've got football. We're back, and hopefully it's going to be the front runner of a lot of great things to come. And, we're looking at trying to wrap this season up this weekend. We're going to kind of back up and regroup for a 3 months. I already talked to the commissioner, Dr. Bob Owens, and we're already making plans to come back with a spring season, probably sometime in late January, early February. So, got a lot of great things in this league.
Absolutely. And this is looks like we're going to have a change of possession. Nope, Okay, they were marking it. There was some discussion back and forth. And that's why I wanted to take a look at this shot. There was some discussion back and forth around if he completed the pass, where he went down, that kind of thing. That's going to bring up third down. And looks like let's see if he got the yardage on it. Yeah, he did. So actually, that's going to bring it all the way back up to a first down, 1st and 10 for the Bison as we go along. Man, look at Bobby's shirt, rocking a Hawaii jersey.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of spirit in this room for even 20, 25 guys that are here. This is a rocking place right now.
And a lot of you are familiar. We know Bobby has a huge following for some of the things he does to help promote the hobby in general, but especially these Rainbow Warriors out of Hawaii. He does a lot of video type things, a lot of really cool stuff. Hosts a ton of games. It's Bobby's thing is, if you get within 100 miles of my home, you need to stop and partake. And he's a great recruiter for this game. Just a pleasant guy to be around. His house is always open, and we just couldn't imagine a better teammate and a better person. And here you got Tom, kind of quiet, reserved. Don't let that fool you. He can bear down and bring the smoke when he has to. Very experienced coach. It's just he just kind of does it with a mild manner. And you don't think there's much going on, but you look up, you're being beat by 3 touchdowns.
Well, I don't think you get to the Big Ten championship without being good. It's just simple as that.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't just like, oh, this isn't pool play. No, this is the culmination of the schedule and everything that they had and the ranking, and it went traditional with it. These are 2 of the top coaches in the Big Ten. We'll see the 2 top coaches in the ACC. That's going to be a pay-per-view game. I'll give you guys my PayPal here in just a little bit because we're going to need it.
Yep.
It's going to be a knockdown drag-out. A lot of fun here. Here we go. I think we're just about set up. We have 2 referees. Mr. Jimbo Dunnigan, you'll see him periodically throughout this particular game, and I think he's got it under control. So similar to the Tournament of Champions rule set, but there's a few modifications along the way, and we'll do our best to ride along with you and walk through those anytime we need to. It's simple football for those that have never seen electric football. Very, very simple. 11 on 11. Bring your best, right? Basic formation rules. You got to have at least 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. Looks like that's going to be a quarterback option here.
Quarterback sneak. Gain of about 5 yards.
He pushed him. Yeah, he had a good amount of penetration. Yeah, gain of 5 on the play.
So we'll be looking at 2nd and 5 here. But yeah, we, it seems like everywhere we go and set up, it's almost like having a rock star following. People see we're carrying in boards, we're carrying in cameras and equipment, and everybody wants to know. I mean, it doesn't take them long. They look at it and they kind of get the puzzled look, like wonder what that is, But then after they kind of recognize what's going on, that's when the real amazement steps in, because we always hear a lot of the same thing. Well, I had that game when I was a kid, or I played that game with my uncle or my neighbors or whatever, and then they start to realize that even though this resembles what we've always known about what is called electric football, the gentlemen in this room, the coaches in this room have elevated this to nothing short of a professional level, that the game is played with precision and equipment and training. And I always say this, the real pros make it look easy.
Sure do. Had a great award ceremony just prior to this game. If you haven't had a chance to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I haven't recovered yet.
Yeah.
You know,
it was wild. It was wild.
We did a Coach of the Year award that honors Big Key Salty Chalmers, and he was so near and dear to so many people in the room, and Dustin and myself especially, that, yeah, I said I wasn't going to cry.
Man, I had to walk away.
Yeah.
I was like, and I made the award. I had to walk away. I said, I can't do this. All right, 2nd and 5 for the Bison. Quarterback option is the call again. Trying to make it bust out to the outside seam. Looking for it here. Got quite a bit of traction there. We do have Philip Rawlings in as a secondary referee just to try to help out. And let's see where they mark it down at. That should move the chains, and that will. And that's going to be a Gridiron Buzz first down right here on the GBN. Man, I am excited. That's 2 back-to-back first downs for the Bison.
No, it's a Y.
Am I that backwards?
Yeah.
I am backwards.
Yeah,
I thought they punted it.
Yeah, they had a change of possession. So
oh
that's
my
a Y
gosh!
ball.
Everybody's got a football. It doesn't matter. No.
Yeah.
I thought there was a change of possession, but there was some controversy about where the punt happened.
But it was on the spot. I think Bobby was trying to kind of lobby and get an extra 5 yards that really wasn't there. So when they start, now they picked up a first down. You got the Rainbow Warriors on a drive at the 45. We knew going in. I think when I ran the predictor on this, it was actually about a 2-point separation. And in a game like that with these guys, and like I said, they played so close in the regular season, come down to the wire, and I believe the last second field goal won it. I expect that kind of game. I don't think anybody's, these are 2 fairly well-coached defenses, and I don't think anybody's just going to run away. You're not going to see one of those 45 to 50 games here.
and we've got some All-Americans in this game.
Yes.
So there's a lot of. I just think specifically about the Hawaii defense and some of the things they've got going on. There's quite a bit that goes on to this. So again, if you haven't watched that award ceremony, go back. We listed all of the All-Americans. Those were voted on by players and coaches and a whole slew of folks. We actually had a committee with that was they were non-players, non-factors in the actual MFBCS. They're anonymous. There's only a handful of people that know about them and who they are. And Bobby's going to go out for a pass.
And I'm not
here.
even sure they know who they are.
No, they don't know each other.
They don't know each other. We did that on purpose just to protect them and be able to. Looks like
that pass is incomplete. He was trying to go over the top, but it looks like somebody got his hands. And if it hit a defensive lineman, the way this works, just in case you guys are new to this, I know there's a lot of new folks joining in. We definitely appreciate it. If that defensive lineman is engaged, meaning he's touching an offensive player, even though he may be the first to touch the ball, it's just a knockdown at that point. However, if he is not engaged and he's the first to touch the ball, that's an interception, change of possession on the spot, keep it moving. So incomplete, just try to go over the top. And we'll get some better pictures as we go, but you can kind of see you've got hands up. Look at all this defense. Look from Bison, every last one of them got their hands up. You don't think that's much. You're like, well, I need to push my guy. No, if you can block the vision of that quarterback, that changes every trajectory, everything that you need, it changes. And it makes it even more difficult to hit. So that's going to bring up 2nd down for the Hawaii Warriors.
We've already mentioned William Maaga from the University of Hawaii. He is a first-team All-American safety. Also in this game you have North Dakota State's place kicker, Adam Keller, is the 2nd team. I'll wait for this play here.
Almost set. So the way to work, you get 40 seconds to go ahead and set up your play, and then it kind of alternates defense and offense to make audibles, and there's a countdown procedure that goes with that to make sure that everybody kind of gets a good amount of time to really set it up. So it makes this game very, very unique. So if you're wondering, like, man, why does it take so long to set up a play? There's a lot going on. Quarterback out to the left side, looking to see if he bumped him. That's going to move the chains again, so the Hawaii Warriors are on the move.
Just to kind of round out our second team All-Americans participate in this game, you have Steve Nelson of the linebackers on the second team for North Dakota State. And just want to make mention to Billy Turner, which is a first-team All-American, was actually Outland award finalist, Billy Turner, for North Dakota State as the Outland. Didn't win it, but he did well in the voting. So as we progress through the weekend, we're going to be pointing out these All-Americans. We've got a game coming up later with the Heisman winner from Texas, Sam Ellinger.
Yep.
We got a game coming up, and you're not going to want to miss Always Open.
Always Open, the best tight end. Unanimous winner for
every committee person voted him as the #1 pick, and that doesn't happen. We have actually another unanimous winner in Emmett Smith as a kick returner from Florida. So it's really, this is what makes it from a broadcast standpoint fun for us, because we have all of these great committees that votes these All-Americans, and the awards that were all done impartially, and it gives us as broadcasters just wealth of information to try to really bring it on.
Little adjustment by the Warriors, going to drop that. Looks like kind of a slot guy out. He's stacking. He's got to move him back. He's got to move him back just a little bit. He'll get it straightened up. Discussing the stacking rule. They've got to be 5 yards back, so it takes a little bit to get that kind of sorted out. A lot of guys are new in this particular league, and again, this is the inaugural bowl weekend. I mean, this has never happened before. We'll be talking more as we go along throughout the weekend as exactly what's going on. But there's 23 unique boards in this room. And like I said, they've never been played on before. There's just been a lot of stuff going on. So,
well, and as we said before, what will end up happening, most of these major bowls, like the Orange Bowl, Rose Bowl, Citrus Bowl, all these Cotton Bowl, they're going to get one game a year played on them.
Yep, one game.
Now, they're not going to be retired or sold off. They're going to be a part of what we've now started to call a collection, and they'll stay together as a group. But as we get to another bowl championship week, and we touched on it a little bit, and Dustin also did, as far as the format of what we're doing, it's a little bit of a mix of a lot of different things. It is championship night tonight. We have all 5 of the major power conferences, and there is talk that we'll be bringing on probably a MAC in the spring.
Yep.
There's been some talk about some AAC action. We've even actually
Mountain West is potential out there.
Mountain West, I think, is going to be a strong possibility,
Yep.
and I love this. Even an HBU division.
How about it?
Which is, historical blacks, and that brings in the historical black colleges bring in places like Tennessee State, Jackson State, Grambling. I mean, so just rich
goes
deep
on
tradition.
and on and on. And the tradition is very, very nice. I love it. We're looking at some mid-season stuff in our hometown of Nashville. The Horse Trailer Havoc. We're in the process of getting everything worked out there. And we've got 2nd and 10 for the Warriors. After no gain on first down, stationary quarterback is in. Trying to get somebody open. Looking for a man. He does have guys open at about the 36-yard line, and also one really deep at about the 17. Pass is complete, no doubt about it. And we'll follow this guy, I believe, to the end zone. You will see that safety was on a freeze frame, so that's kind of the stationary version. They don't have to have 2 safeties. They literally have one safety. It's on a frame to help them not move. Very, very nice. But he pops off the frame, goes right back in the same spot. Missed him. And touchdown. There we go. That's our first 7 points of the Big Ten. Oh, I do apologize. They do have to go for. Yeah. They have to go for it. This is not an automatic.
All kicks have to be attempted.
This is not an automatic. So we'll get the shot set up for that. Going for 2. Never mind. We don't have to worry about the field goal.
Jimbo, did you talk him into that? No, maybe.
We'll give Hawaii their first 6 points of the board.
Little inside ref coaching there. Go for 2. Go for 2.
Go for 2. They do have 2 timeouts per half. That is a thing.
Jimbo, the commissioner of the Big Ten.
Yep. Mandatory 2, Big Ten.
Mandatory. Jimbo's making a command rule decision now. It's mandatory 2.
We're not the Pac-12.
Oh, gosh.
I think the
Shots
Pac-12
fired.
has been actually called out, and there's JC over there wondering what's going on there with San Diego State. Pac-12 championship is Utah, San Diego State. Big 12, we're looking at the old Red River rivalry with Texas.
Red River shootout. Yep, very cool. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's out there right now. Mr. Paul Pate, I see you out there. Charles Motley, thanks for joining. David Nichols is on. Richard Wood. And Ryan Gregerson, man, I definitely appreciate it. Ryan asked a question. He said, I saw the bowl boards on the GBN page. Did you design the murals around the fields too? The answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
Every ounce of boards that you see this weekend on any camera, whether it's somebody rolling around the room, and I'm not gonna be bashful about it. Somebody rolling around the room with their own camera, one right here where you see on GBN, every ounce of it. We're gonna talk more in depth later about it. That's all GBN product right out of the GBN shop. So we don't have just the video at this point. We built 23 boards for this weekend, and it's a lot of fun. So we'll be having we'll have some roving cameras and things going on out there. But I just want to address that. If you're like, man, where'd these boards come from? They're unique. They've got a lot of elements in them that have never really been put together all together in a 3D or in an electric football world. We'll talk about it after this play. As Hawaii is going for 2, they're up 6 and almost.
Inside and out.
Almost. Does he have a man open?
Looks like he got him locked down pretty good here.
It's going to be tough.
Bobby's searching. He's on the clock here. He's got to make his choice. I don't like this angle. He's going to try to make a dangerous pass. If he connects, he's going to look like a genius here. But
that's going to be an interception. Oh, that is a catch. I apologize. I thought he hit the wrong one. I heard interception somewhere. All right, that is a catch.
It's going to be probably run down from behind here as far as
Yeah, nice pass. I mean, he at least made an attempt there.
Tackle from behind, 2-point, no play. They're no good. 6-0. 1 minute total. Change over.
All right, we're having just a small bit of technical difficulty. We'll have that camera right back up in just a second. And that's going to be 6-0. Change of possession. We'll be right back with you. All right, thanks for that. We had to get that camera reset. Change of possession. We're just about underway after a nice score from Hawaii. Bison are going to take back over at their own 25.
kind of an interesting defense here. Wise playing. Looks like they got the All-American William Mayaga back. Really kind of deep by standards of normal safety here. This formation really kind of lends itself to pounding the ball up the middle. North Dakota does have a All-American and Billy Turner on this line. They did well. They did well. You know, Carson Wentz was on the O'Brien list as a finalist. Had a nice little season. That did get some attention as far as several other awards. So don't go to sleep. You know, we know that North Dakota State by nature is not a Big Ten team. It is in our world, just like Hawaii. So if you're interested in why that happens, we do have regional continuity, but we've had to make a few exceptions in some areas because there just simply wasn't enough teams to go around, and that's the case in the Big Ten.
Absolutely. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bison at their own 25. You don't have to go for a kickoff. You can take an automatic 25. But then there's a 1-minute change of possession to get everybody reset. It takes quite a bit of time off the clock. Quarterback option was the call in this situation. And we're going to see Tom Ruesink. He's got steady hands here. Very good passing on the year. And that was incomplete. Missed him just a bit wide. Tried to thread the needle. I think if he would have aimed maybe more for the base, it would have been a little bit better. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, and to finish the thought we were talking about as far as the format to get through the week, it may be a little confusing to some folks, but the way we set it up is you had to play, originally you had to actually have played 10 games of your schedule to qualify for the postseason. With COVID and things that happened, and then we kind of got into a shutdown mode there for about 2.5 months until things started coming back to, I don't know what normal is anymore.
Whatever we're going to deem as normal. Whatever moment we're in is normal at that point.
But we got back to playing some in small regional areas, and we cut the requirement down to 7 games. You had to complete 7 games in order to be eligible for the postseason. So what's going to end up happening starting tomorrow is what was supposed to be, well, actually we were anticipating more than 32 coaches. So we had a contingency that if we had more than 32, everything over 32 would actually play in what we call an NIT, which is an invitational. And then they would play for the last play-in spot, the 32nd spot, to go into what essentially is a March Madness, and I'll finish after this play here.
Yep, 2nd and 10 for the Bison after an incomplete on 1st down. Quarterback. Ooh, what a hit. Nearly knocked him over. Man, that was a crack right there, boys. I'll tell you what. That's the kind of stuff right there that'll win you ball games in this league. Those hard hits, knocking them over. Lots of good stuff there.
So once we get into the actual single elimination, it's not really, win or go home type thing. It really is, if you get knocked out of the tournament, you'll fall back to a bowl that will happen tomorrow night. And kind of the deeper you get into the tournament, the more prestigious bowl you get.
Yep.
I mean, we have everything from the Independence Bowl, and I see
you got the Music City, the Military Bowl,
the Liberty Bowl, and we're seeing it all the way up to the Orange, the Rose, the Cotton, the Peach Bowl, Sugar. So what you want to do is you want to hang into the playoffs as long as you can, because the later in the rounds that you get knocked out, the more prestigious bowl you get. These two are lining up. I would predict that one of these two are probably going to be, unless they both manage to make, and I don't think they can, because I think they're in the same bracket. They're in the
Fiesta Bowl?
Fiesta Bowl bracket, yeah.
Yep.
So they're going to run into each other at some point. So I don't see both of these teams getting into the Final Four. There's just no way. But the fallback position is the Rose Bowl. So how bad off could you be if you leave here with the Rose Bowl?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the beauty of this. There's kind of 2 tournaments, if you will, really almost 3 in one.
Right.
You got your bowl or the conference championships. That's what we're seeing here. You've got what would be playing for the national championship. That's tomorrow. But if you lose, you're still playing for a bowl championship. Like that's the progression, and that's just too cool. 3rd and 16 after a hard sack from Hawaii, looking to make a pass, trying to pivot. And here we go. And that's going to be incomplete. Bring up 4th and long for the Bison.
So what it's going to end up, by the time we get to the end of tomorrow night, we'll have our Final Four. They're either coming out of the Peach bracket or they're going to come out of the Fiesta Bowl bracket. And the Final Four, the final 2 on each side of the bracket will make up those games, and the winners of those 2 bowl games will end up going to the national championship. So really, really fantastic format. I could only imagine it'd even be better had we not been interrupted mid-season. But we're determined to make this work, and we are making it work. There's a lot of guys that really didn't get to participate this year for various reasons. I mean, I think I talked to Bob a couple days ago, and we've already had 15 coaches prepay and sign up that weren't even a part of the league this year.
And yeah, that's in the additional side to it. So, yeah, that's just an incredible journey, and I think this format and this amount of effort and this amount of design is just absolutely. I think it's unprecedented. I mean, it's not been done, and that's the thing.
Well, and I mentioned when I was doing it, blessed enough to be privileged enough to be doing the award show. I mentioned that I don't know that there's anything truly unique in the room, like, oh, that's never been done before.
It's
but I
never
will tell
been
you
done
what
at
is
the same
unique
time.
is taking it all and putting it all together at the same time.
So,
and that's just. That part has never been
just
done.
because I'm so excited. I want to walk through. And again, I'm not bashful with it, but I don't want anybody to think I'm big-headed about it either. So GBN designed every last one of these boards, starting with the graphics to the paint to 3D printing to a whole bunch of different things. And the crazy part is I knew what they were supposed to look like because I kind of designed a lot of it. But until you come in this room and you stand here and you look at 23 unique bowl destinations, they've got real football leather. You can see it in this shot on the trays. You've got 3D printed corners with really unique, iconic things for every bowl. You've got full wrap of side art. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's the first time we've actually seen them all put out together anyways. It took us a few months to do it, but my goodness.
And we said from the beginning when we were starting to design these things, number one, it's just really fun to breathe life into something that starts as a spark of imagination, and you can take it through the process. And that looks like
that was definitely an interception at the 45. Yep. Warriors tried to force the pass out across midfield, just couldn't get there. And
that's 100% going to come back to bite them before this game's over.
So at the 45-yard line, going from right to left on your screen.
Bobby is somewhat of a river gambler. He's kind of known for taking those risks when he has to. I mean, and if you're going to take that shot, now's kind of the time to do it.
You're up 6-0. It's okay. It's not the end of the world, but you've got to go play defense again. And here we go. Right to left on your screen at the 45. You see him pointed out there. 45, 30, and ran back into the middle. About down to the 31. It'll be a change of possession, a 1-minute change of possession. And we'll see the Bison come back out on offense. If you guys are liking our stream, we definitely appreciate you joining in on a Friday night. There's probably, I don't know if there's a whole lot more you can be doing other than sitting at home at this given moment. But take a moment, hit that share button for us, make it out to the world. We want to make sure nobody misses us. I'll just be fair and tell you, we're streaming on Facebook because that's where the majority of the population for electric football is right now. It's a gathering spot, but we all know how that is. Mr. Zuckerberg and his algorithms are pretty crazy. We could be live, we can post things, and people won't see it for 4 days, and all of a sudden it'll show up. So we're trying to get that out there as much as possible. Take a moment, hit that share button while we've got a change of possession, and definitely would appreciate it. Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us just kind of get more support and things going along for the weekend. This is game number 1 of really a 10-game set. 2 tonight, 5 tomorrow, 3 on Sunday.
Has the check cleared yet?
Bob?
Yeah.
No.
We don't have our money yet. We may shut her down tonight.
I don't know.
We're not going to leave y'all hanging like that.
No.
But, and just to finish the thought with the boards, we said going into it, we wanted to be able to actually make destinations, not just make a board and put a cover on it. We wanted to build. When you get a chance, we'll try to get around the room here in a bit. When you see the Hawaii Bowl, it's like you went to Hawaii. When you see the Cotton Bowl, it's like you were in the Cotton Bowl, the Orange Bowl. And that was important to us because we wanted that experience not only for our coaches here to play on, but we wanted that experience for you guys to watch and sit at home. So, the championship boards are designed in the style of the venue of where the championships are held. In this case, you know, it's Lucas Oil Field most of the time for the Big Ten championship, and you can see the art. That's what it represents. It's Lucas Oil Field, but it's uniquely the Big Ten championship.
Yep, and here we go. It's 1st and 10 for the Bison across midfield at the 31. So 31 yards to pay dirt with a little over 11 minutes left in the first half. So plenty of time, 45-minute clocks.
Stop on the clock and turn off and change possessions. So what are you seeing here as some early tendencies with? I mean, these are.
I think North Dakota is really trying to run this ball, and they're trying to do the dink and dunk, and I think they're going to have to be a little more risky coming down the stretch. I don't think this conservative gameplay is going to do it, but that's a gain of 6 on the play. So they're going to have to take a shot deep at some point. You know, it's still early in the ball game, but they've got to establish that if they're going to try to establish the run as well. Everybody's playing with the mask. We are not in the booth. We don't because of this, but if we leave the booth, we'll be in good shape. We had to get a clock clarification. Wanted to make sure we were doing it right.
See, they got like 3 different ways we've been playing. We were playing for expedite mass meetings. We were just doing a 45-minute running clock. And then stop.
All right, so we're looking at North Dakota State. Really, you know, the Big Ten plays a power top game. They really try to force the run, but it's these defenses that end up being a lot of parallel in this conference that it's really kind of a stalemate. And what ends up happening, you're going to see a touchdown.
Yeah, there it is. There's the answer back. So we're going to give them 6. Kind of like a baseball score, 6-6.
Yeah.
Going for 1. Looking like the kicker's coming up.
To the bottom of the 6th there and see what we got.
Bottom of the 6th on the 6th. He's got to hit the board. Where everybody's over here wearing masks, and that's a no. The kick is no good. Everybody's wearing masks. Now we need safety goggles to play electric football.
We're not at risk of swallowing the ball, though.
Yeah, you're not going to swallow or snort the ball, but
Was there any doubt that he missed that?
wide left.
Did it go under the yellow line?
Oh my God, wide left.
I saw Jimbo flinching like, yeah, that caught him in the eye.
Yeah.
So now Jimbo's one eye.
But listen, these kickers, I've seen them kick
They're on pat sideways now.
a patch and a mask at the same time. There you go, all in one. A pask? I don't know what you call
I
that.
don't know. I just saw the flinching.
Yeah.
There's no way. If he made him flinch, there's no way he made that
No,
kick.
but the thing is, like, these kickers, they can kick over those field goals. There's some 60, 70-yard kickers that are pretty intense. So it'll be a 1-minute change of possession. The clock, we did get clarification. This is new to everybody, so we're trying it out. But the clock actually does stop on change of possession. So they're gonna continue playing like they were up until this point, but we do have the clock stopped, and it will start back on the snap of the board, which it looks like we're going to see We're going to see an onside kick? Nope. Yeah, we are too. No, okay. He's got it back. Okay. Oh, we're looking down at the.
So if any of you are wondering why we're in the booth and not wearing a mask, it's, well, two reasons. Number one, we would sound like Darth Vader.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Through the mask. But the other thing is, we're father son. We rode here for 750 miles, so if we're going to get sick, I guess.
And a detour through downtown Dallas at almost midnight with a trailer. People standing out in the street. I don't know what was happening. GPS was trying to tell us to go one way, not the other, and try to make a left, and then traffic and street closures. It was an hour and a half of how did we get here? We don't know, but we figured it out.
We're gonna have it looks like we're going to have a kickoff here.
Yeah, it's going to be a kickoff. It's an interesting format. Kind of an offset. What is actually happening?
Yeah, let's kick off. Looks like we're going to have a run back here. Now, I have seen Hawaii do some pretty solid run backs. This one of those dice gamble roll things that may or may not pay off. We're just looking at.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is the Jet Award.
Yep.
Pretty awesome stuff. We'll have some pictures up of the actual awards as we go along through the weekend. But gave away 11 player awards plus a Heisman, so really 12. Sam Ellinger,
Our Jet Award goes to Emmett Smith from the Florida Gators, our second unanimous pick by the committee.
Yep. We'll probably see him at some point this weekend. And down at the 33, 34-yard line, they say it'll be a 1-minute change of possession. And the clock stops on the change of possession, so that'll give them a little better time. We might be playing till.
You going anywhere? You got a room, right? We'll just keep playing till dawn.
Why not? Coming up at the end of this game, we'll have a short break, a board change out, and it'll be the ACC most looked after game of the year. It's Mr. Nobody, Mr. Brian Phillips versus Darren Jamani. And, man, I'm looking forward to that one. I'm going to try to get a nice tight shot of this in the booth for those that couldn't see it during the award ceremony. Well, we got a change of possession. I promise you we're not going to miss any action. There is the Big Salty Award. I thought it went. I think he missed it.
So we started kind of a new tradition to bring Big Salty back to life. He was so near and dear to most of us. And like I said, I promised myself I wasn't going to cry when I presented the award. But I said, what the heck? We're all grown men in the room. We can cry at least once. I mean, he was just so special. And Darren Jamani, winner of the inaugural MFBCS Coach of the Year, Big Salty. And this thing looks really, really cool. When all the lights are off, it just comes to life. I mean, it's just almost, you just almost expect Salty to just kind of walk out of that thing any second. And
heck, you might. There we go. So we're back to the action. 7:28 to go after a change of possession after the kickoff. So there's really extra breaks that are involved here. We have any change of possession, the clock will stop and then start back on the snap of the board. It looks like that's going to be a no gain on the play. It'll bring up second down.
So we have a little bit of a score correction there. We misread the kick because when we saw Jimbo flinch because he caught it in the right eye, that we assumed that he missed the board, but he actually clipped the edge of the board, which made it good, and then it ricocheted and hit. And then after it hit Jimbo in the eye, it bounced all the way back to about the 50. So I think that thing would have been good from like 400 yards.
Jimbo, we couldn't tell because Jimbo was winking, and he just now looked at his eyes just now recovering to be able to look at the score. He's like, can you fix that? I was like, yeah, sorry. So, 7-6, Bison are up. And they're on defense, Bison in white, the Hawaii Warriors in black. You'll notice the change for those that are new to the hobby, new to the rule set, what's going on. Basically, you've got defense. You've got defense in white or a light color, and your offense is in a dark color. That way, no matter who you play, where you play them, you don't have a conflict in colors.
And this is a concept that was started many years ago in a lot of the tournaments because so many coaches would show up with, the more prominent favorite teams, the Cowboys, the Steelers, the Raiders, the Packers, and all the teams that most people, and so it really become very confusing if you didn't have some way of distinguishing offense and defense, and you had two Cowboy teams, for instance. And that tradition is just now kind of permeated and carried throughout now through most of elected football. I think there's still one that comes to mind. There's still one league that kind of insists on you have to have a full dark squad and a full white squad, and it's up in Philly, Neville, I believe.
Yeah, where you have to actually have a full team of home and away, basically. All right, so you're going to see a bunch of folks running around on the board. Apparently, they are going to do another board adjustment. Coach's decision. Coaches have to agree. And we've got the board adjusted. Clock is running again. I'd like to welcome in everybody to the Gridiron Buzz Network. I see Chris Stringer is on, John Medeiros, Ryan Gregerson, we talked earlier, Vince Stone, hey, he loves all the new angles. I hope you guys do. We've got a few more things we'll be deploying throughout the weekend, so just stay with us. We've got an overhead cam we'll be adding back in. We had the award ceremony, just couldn't quite get everything set exactly like we needed to for both the award ceremony and to turn around and have this game, but we'll have that one back tomorrow. And we'll have, of course, instant replay and things as we go along. We like to kind of get ourselves in a warm-up. We haven't been on the road since February, and we're just kind of getting back into...
We got toys in the toy box that we...
Yeah.
We got to go blow the dust off of them and bring them back. So.
It'll be okay. Stick with us. Lots of great football. Frank Jacobs in the house. Stephen LeGros, I swear, he's in the house. Guys, if you don't know Stephen LeGros, huge shout out to Stephen. He busted his tail this morning. We basically been setting up since about 10 a.m. local time, and it has just taken, up until the moment we started for the awards, it was pretty intense. So
that's a true junkie when he's in here. He's repping the game. He's got us on his handheld. He's here watching live, but he's watching us on the net as well. And if you have your comments open, you'll see that he's got a little moniker there, a tag there that says Top Fan. How do you get to be that? You watch and you comment and you sign in and you share and you spread this game, and that's how you climb to the GBN Top Fan.
Yeah, absolutely. So huge shout out to Steven. If you see him out in the hallway, if you see him at an event, give him a big old pat on the back. We couldn't do it without him. I'm on a ladder and he's just like, Is that all? I'm like, yeah. I'm reaching as high as I can go and a whole bunch of crazy things. So very, very cool. Thank you again, Steven. Oh, and his wife. Hold on. Can't leave ownership out.
No.
She's out here giving ideas.
She was like, you do this and you do that. I'm like, we might need to hire her. She's running the show here. Great lady, and here with a dog.
Yeah, why not?
With a dog. And,
why not? Very, very cool.
Those of you that know, Stephen lives down in Houston, and I talked to him about Monday evening, I think it was, and he's like, well, we're packing up the wife and the dog, and we're going to outrun this storm. I said, well, then what are you going to do? He's like, well, about Tuesday, I'm going to call my neighbor. If he answers, we're going home, and if he doesn't answer, I'm just going to call the insurance agent.
There you go. So. Risky play here. It's 4th down. I think this is going to absorb a lot of time here, and Hawaii is going to go for it on their own side. It's 4th and really about 10. Got plenty of time. Got guys open. He's got to be careful here, though. That is for sure.
Yeah, you don't want to gamble twice on your own end of the field here. That didn't work out for him. That's what gave.
Bounced. It bounced. Definitely bounced. Turnover on down. Stop at the time. Clock has stopped. 1 minute change.
You didn't call your receivers.
And you see a lot of different arms coming in there waving it off. We have 2 official referees and probably about 3 more unofficial.
We have in electric football what we call drive-by referees. Somebody will come over and watch a play, be the referee for that play,
That's right.
and then you're looking around, they're not there for the next play.
I've threatened to get a squirt gun and fill it full of ivory soap. And if you step in a pit, you get shot in the mouth.
Yeah, it's got a pretty good crowd. Got a little bit of everything. We got guys from the East Coast, the West Coast, the North Coast, South Coast, border to border. Lots of great stuff out there. Hope you guys are enjoying your evening. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to is tomorrow. The championships, the way they're set up, they're coming out of both sides of the bracket. It's kind of predetermined of who's where for everybody that was able to qualify and the things that are happening. But, man, when those boards go off tomorrow, it is going to be a showdown. Like, I don't know that I'm ready for it, like, mentally. I'm that kind of pumped for it. This event and this league, I remember Dr. Bob coming to us, 2 years ago? We were in Richmond, Virginia, and he announced what this was going to be. And the vision that he had even to be able to put this together just from a structural standpoint, the commissioner of the league and putting the commissioners of each conference in place. I mean, and all the formatting things that have happened. In the regular season, their stats, and that's how we were able to do the awards, and that's how we were able to follow. It's not just your basic stuff, time of possession and pass completion, but it was who they completed it to, and how many yards, and how many tackles somebody made, how many sacks. I mean, down to the individual player. And that just really, I think, ultimately almost legitimizes it as trying to be something that more than just a tournament. I mean, the tournaments are fine.
Well, and I think that's the catalyst of this whole league, and it's the one thing that has put the glue behind it and brought everything full circle with it. I mean, without the stats, it's just, this is what you and I have dreamed about when we started this network several years ago now. We're starting to kind of be the old grizzled veterans, or definitely the road veterans,
yeah,
the people that travel, but it just makes my job. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at all kinds of stats. I'm looking at All-American lists. I'm looking at award winners, and then especially in this game. So it's going to be an incomplete pass now.
Trying to still figure out this clock thing. I'm not clock manager. I'm just following referees' instructions, and it's a little bit of everything. But it is going to be thrown away and incomplete. So we'll work through it. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Bison. They need to take one deep here.
Yeah, this game is just kind of a punch-counter-punch type game. It's always fun to watch the 40, 50, 60-point games go off, but it's also fun to watch a tight one-point game almost to the end of the first half here. This is still anybody's game. And I had this game pegged at actually as Hawaii favored by 2, I believe I had. And I think it's going to pan out that way. This is not going to be a runaway game. And this entire league is no lack of heavy top-end talent here. We have, much like a TLC or any other Deep South, Dallas, East Coast, some of the best coaches in the world are here right now. But we are missing a lot, and we would like to eventually bring them into the fold and make this even a stronger league than what we've already started here.
20 seconds. Bison are going to have to get 5 men down. This will be the last play of half, and then we'll take a quick break and be right back with more action right here on GBN. Good first half, 7-6. Bison. We have a timeout from Hawaii.
We're not trying to ignore you out there. We're just
Trying to make sure.
This is kind of a crucial play in the game with 3 seconds on the clock.
Bobby called timeout, but it wouldn't have done any difference because the clock would have ran out on the field goal itself. So we'll see if Jimbo can get his other eye knocked out here.
Only one thing worse than a one-eyed referee. No-eyed.
No-eyed.
Watch him. He steps to the
Close
side.
your eyes, Jimbo. Close your eyes. Field goal is good. And that's going to put the Bison up. That should run us out to halftime. Half action. I've got to take off my mask. We had to go sort out the clock situation, but I think we've got it sorted out. I'll walk you through it whenever we're ready to roll. And we will get that bad boy rolling. So.
Attempt at a kickoff here, and we'll see where it gets us.
So the way the clock, here we go. And 3, 2, 1, we're going.
Looks like he's got a lane here a little bit. He needs to try to kind of cut back across the field. I think that's what he's looking at. He's got a really nice, lot of real estate out here. He's got one man to beat, and if he can keep tiptoeing up to the sideline here, it could really break loose. But then at the angles, you got to watch this hit from kind of a T-bone situation, not being a fumble. That's the worst thing that Hawaii could have happen.
Angles are everything in football, and they're even more in electric football. So here we go. Out of the left-hand side of your screen, just over on the left, about the H and the A. We'll get blocked here as we try to get that. And tackled down at the 14-yard line. That's going to be a 1-minute change of possession. And the clock will stop on the 1 minute. Now, the way it works, I want to get everybody up to speed on it so we're not looking at what's going on throughout the weekend. On change of possession, there's a 1-minute change of possession. The clock stops for 1 minute. Game clock stops. At the end of that 1 minute, the clock is running. The offense still has an additional 40 seconds to set up their play, but that's in game time at that point. So that was some of the discussion at halftime to get it kind of straightened out. We've got essentially 5 different leagues, even though they're all in the same league, the MFBCS. Everybody's got a little bit of different adaptation to the rule, and this is the first time we've all got together, so it's understandable that there might be some discrepancies around what the actual rule is. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Clock is running. Referee has wound the clock. There's 40 seconds still for the offense to set up.
I would expect this game to still remain close all the way to the end. I think it's really one of those games that's going to come down to the last possession. We've watched Bobby kind of gamble several times, and that's kind of his motive. It's kind of his how he plays into his games. He doesn't mind trying to open it up and taking a risk, and it's kind of a risk-reward type situation. We've seen a couple of picks and a near fumble that hurt him to the tune of one of the touchdowns that he spotted North Dakota State here.
What do we got there? An H-back? A little bit different as soon as Tom slides out of the way from
Almost got a little wing T action.
Wing T action. 1st and 10 for Hawaii at the 14-yard line.
He had to reach back to 1959 to pull that one out.
I was like, we haven't seen that in a while. Stationary quarterback coming in. Lots of protection, and got a guy that slipped out down to the bottom of your screen at the 29-yard line. We're going to flip the camera here. There it is on the right-hand side of the screen. Ball going left to right. And that pass is complete at the bottom of the base. It doesn't have to hit the player as long as it hits a part of the base or the player before it hits the ground. It's complete, and he's got one man to beat.
A lot of real estate here. If he can skirt the sideline and run straight,
that's going to be the
he's
thing.
got room to kind of get away from him. Oh, and he missed.
30, 20, and tackle from behind. Holy cow. Fantastic tackle. He's going to be down at the 19-yard line inside the red zone. That guy came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and even
holy cow.
Bobby doing a fist pump on that. I mean,
wow.
He closed about 25 yards there. And
oh, my.
Like he was taking 4 steps to that receiver's one. That was a really one of the better plays you're going to see to save a touchdown. That was remarkable.
That might have been the nicest tackle I've ever seen.
Well,
I mean, from that kind of closure.
Not only to close the speed, which was remarkable, but to be on line to make the tackle.
Yeah, not just. I mean, that was right. I mean, just
and as fast as he was running, he could have easily just overshot him.
Yeah. Wow, what a tackle. Fantastic play, fantastic tackle.
But I tell you, the Warriors are feeling good. They made a nice, almost 35-yard gain there.
It's about 50. It was from the 14 to the 19. 60 almost. Very, very nice. Wow, what a play. What a play on both sides. This is why we play electric football, folks. If you can't get excited about that, I don't know what to say. I mean, like, that's good stuff.
One of the main questions we always get when people just walking down the hall poking their head in, hey, what's this, and we start to describe, and after this play we'll finish.
Be first and 10 from the 19. Similar format. This wing T angle kind of back in. You'll see the offense and defense adjust. You can do two pivots or a motion and a pivot. You just can't do two motions. That's illegal formation.
Is this going to be a keeper here?
He's got a good push right up the middle, left hash mark. See the quarterback getting pointed out.
Blocker's way out in front.
He's got a shot here. Oh, he got
tackle there.
Wow.
Too. Yeah.
Bison defense coming alive.
Blocking it down here.
It's going to be a loss of about 3 on the play.
Determined not to give up the scores, but
it's going to be second down and 13. Wow, what a change of events. The momentum is just shifting really fast right now. I kind of feel the energy picking up a little bit. Wow.
And as I was saying before, our people that are just passing by, looking into the door, and they had these flashbacks of 1972, and they got their first electric football set at Christmas or whatever. And usually the biggest and the first question we always answer is, well, do they just go out and run around in circles still? The answer is not unless you want them to.
Not unless you put them on the snow field of Bobby's AFC, NFC Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
then they will. Otherwise, no. They're trained assassins for this.
He posted a video of his safety doing donuts.
It was
like
hilarious.
It
was hilarious. Just
lot,
running in circles, still making progress. That was a lot of fun.
And sometimes that is a strategy. Some teams will have a safety that just kind of roams like that. You either get caught way out of position or you're there to make an instant play.
So it's going to bring up second and 13. Stationary quarterback. You'll see that coming in. They have to. Once a stationary quarterback is in, that's what they have to use for that particular play. But he basically won't move from that base. Won't move forward. Won't move back. There you go. Got guys open everywhere. Can he split a seam? Can he get a quick score?
Looked like it bounced about 5 yards short there.
And that's incomplete. That'll bring up a quick third down. So what was almost a touchdown is now put him in a third down position. What a change of events.
And I think the Bison just settled down here and played their game. You can't really look at a 10-6 score as totally commanding yet. But it just seems like the pace is playing into the Bison's hands here. They're not being rushed or really deliberate or anything. They're playing kind of a bend but don't break defense. and they're just trying to methodically march down. And what happens is if the Warriors don't end up any points on this possession, they turn the ball over down here. Maybe they kick a field goal, which isn't the worst thing that could happen. But when you turn the ball back over, you're probably not going to see it again for 10 or 15 minutes. And the Bison are capable of going on these long, grind-out type drives, and that's all that's really necessary here. You're not playing a 40 or 50 point offensive team explosion in this game. You're trying to stay in the game and win it in the end. Now, don't get me wrong, both teams would be happy to take a pick six or some kind of turnover here.
Of course.
They want to build score. I don't see one of these guys getting too shook or rattled right now. They're just playing their game.
Quarterback looking to make a pass.
Great penetration up the middle there.
Wow. I think he was looking for some guys to slip out, but just couldn't quite get there. Right in the middle. He's got a man open. Boom, hit him. Got a lead blocker, too.
Got him kind of sealed off. Everybody else is engaged. This could actually go to the barn here.
Definitely has potential. Definitely has potential. Nice little dink. That pass is actually pretty difficult. You got to get up and over and down in a hurry.
Kind of the shorter the pass, the harder it is, really.
Right in the middle. Moved out. Looking to see if he got tackled. That's going to be a nice gain. It's going to be 4th down and 7 to go. What do you do here? If you're the Warriors, do you go for it now?
No, you gambled the whole game.
You've got to push it.
On the gas here because
I think you've got to push it at this point. You're down. You're in the red zone. You can kick a field goal a lot further out than this.
Right. And what's going to end up happening here, even if he doesn't convert all this, he's going to leave the Bison kind of deep. He just got to rely on his defense, and they've been playing well. They really haven't given up, aside from one big catch and run there, and that come off pick six of his own end zone.
Yep.
About the 20-yard line early in the first half, but that's really the difference in the game right now. But no, I agree. This is a championship game. You leave it on the field.
Hardware. Every game for tonight there's hardware on the line. Tomorrow there's hardware on the line. Basically, if you play and you lose, you're still playing for hardware in the bowls. So, there's hardware in this series. Bobby could walk away. We do have a timeout.
We'll reset the clock back there where it needs to be. Phillip was actually standing, if you can believe it. Tom's probably about, 5'9", 5'10". Phillip's like 6'3" or 4. And Phillips was trying to signal for a timeout. I couldn't see him through Tom for some reason. Finally, he was jumping up and throwing his arms up again.
We got it. 35-22. Bison have used their first timeout of the half. They get 2 timeouts per half. Not a bad choice here.
Well, it's kind of a 2-for-1 gamble. I think he did the right thing. He's trying to set up the right play to stop this momentum here a little bit. I don't even think the field goal is even bothering Tom.
Wow.
Yeah. Nice deep sack right here.
And that's going to be a change of possession. First down for the Bison coming up. Clock is stopped. Oh, something happened over here. That's in the
Big 12 Red River Shootout, Texas
man,
and Oklahoma.
Change. Wow, 1 minute change. Great defense by the Bison in that series. Saved a touchdown, ended up pushing them to a 4th down, and then got a sack on the 4th down. You can't ask for better defense than that. You got to be proud of that.
You stay in the game. You play defense, and the old saying goes, well, offense will win you games, but defense wins you championships. And look, you can go out here and hang 50 on somebody, but if you've got a defense that gives up 55, you're not getting anywhere. You're just slinging mud. So, really, championships are built around defense first. You have to stop the other guy, and then you go for your points.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome in, everybody. We're in the Big Ten Championship of the MFBCS Bowl weekend. We've got a great treat for you. There you have it. It's Bobby Moore on our left on the camera. Tom Ruesink on the right. Clock is rolling from the 1 minute. They still have 40 seconds to complete their setup. We've got ourselves a ball game. It's 10-6. And looks like John Medeiros looks like a genius in this situation. He was like, kick the field goal, play defense. Well, that would have been the right call in hindsight. But absolutely.
But I think Bobby was a little bit concerned about if he gave the ball up. That even if he ended up getting 3, and
he's still short. Yeah.
Kind of hard to leave points on the board, but it was just a matter of. I don't think it's a confidence shaking on Bobby's part. I think it's kind of the opposite. I think Bobby thought, hey, even if I don't get points out of this, I got him pinned deep in his own territory. My defense, his defense, the Rainbow Warriors have played solid defense as well. Look, this game at 10-6 it's just a fumble or a pick from flipping over.
100%. I mean, it could go any which way. Still a one-score game. Not a huge deal right now. Looks like they're going to go for a pass again. Going threading the needle here, but he's got some traffic to throw over, but it's not impossible. Pass is complete. Going to angle him towards the out of bounds. There is a defender that's on a freeze frame. And we were just taking a look at the Vegas lines for this game. North Dakota State favored by 1 point. And that's going to bring up a nice touchdown and a clock stoppage for North Dakota. 16-6. What a play. Right back into it. And I think, again, that resonates why Bobby went for it on 4th down.
We got Ryan on here talking about some old wounds about, we've said 100 times we could never say Campbell soup.
Oh, gosh.
On the air because it costs us money every time we say Campbell soup. So here he brings up the whole joke about Campbell soup. And, how many times do we have to say you can't say
Campbell soup? Campbell soup.
And there he goes. So those of us that's been with us for long enough to remember the Campbell soup joke, God bless you. You've been with us for a long
Essentially,
time.
what has happened, what has progressed.
Don't say Campbell soup, though.
From Campbell soup, we added in the chunky for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we got kind of in trouble with it. But it got to a point, we got, like, unbranded cans.
Yeah.
Like every other.
We were writing checks all the time.
Every other.
Wanted to say Campbell soup
the
all
theory.
The time, so we wrote,
the theory behind the Campbell soup, and essentially on the board, there's
about
liquid.
$30 on
yeah, I know, right?
Stop saying Campbell soup. Stop.
The liquid in the liquid in the soup cans.
Okay.
Apparently absorbs and kind of reverberates vibrations back to the board.
Right. Or in voodoo theory. That's what
in voodoo, we need a scientist. That may be a project for somebody to do, is to go out there and figure out exactly.
That on, Caden Dorsey.
Yeah, Caden, you got this, buddy. You figure it out. What is the vibration change? What's the vibration change from soup cans or no soup cans?
But there's something
and relative.
Campbell's soup that makes it.
It's got to be Campbell's though.
It can't be like Great
Value. Don't go to Save-A-Lot.
No. You have to have Campbell's soup.
And it's got to be in date.
Yes.
It's got
expired. It don't work.
Expired does not work. Exactly. So that's the deal with Campbell's soup, folks.
So thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
That's an archive that we kind of forgot about.
I haven't talked about Campbell's soup in a while.
See, there you go. Now
God. We do have a fan. Hey, I tell you how we pay for it. We have a fan club.
Yeah.
If you want to help us pay for our fines for Campbell's soup, just join the fan club. We'll figure it out.
All right. Let's get back to some real action. Here's the kickoff. And we're going to...
taking it out from the left again.
He's got more real estate this time than he did the first time, but, man, these safeties here, these cover guys are killing him.
Yeah, they're closing the speed. I mean, on a line, on a B line.
Wouldn't you think it's Hawaii's turn now?
I feel a run back up. There's a lot of room here. As long as he can miss this little T-bone action, one from behind him, one in front of him, and he got cracked again right about the 13.
closing speed of this defense.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Stopping the clock. 1 minute change of possession again. Big Ten championship. It's going to be good times. ACC championship coming up next. Coaches are warming up, making their warm-up passes and final adjustments.
I just can't get over that. Ryan bringing up the old Campbell soup.
Yeah.
I mean,
we were reminiscing earlier about some crazy things. It was
David Donut Heist.
David Donut Heist is one.
Yeah.
How do you forget that? David and the Donut. Like, that sounds like a children's book.
Could be. A whole series.
Oh, my gosh.
We'll put that in there with Campbell soup.
Hey, speaking of children's books, Bobby Moore himself has one. A very, very popular one. If you guys follow him on Facebook at all, you think about his dog Bodie there. And
I always tell him Bodie's a bigger star than he is.
Bodie gets around now.
Bodie gets the women.
Bodie went to KFC the other day. I haven't been to KFC. Oh, crap. Can't say that either.
Well, it's better than Campbell soup.
Yeah. There it is. Jamie says it's more like the old folks don't want to bend over that far for the reason for the soup cans. I would agree. We actually got smart with this. We have a board or the tables on risers to automatically bring the level up, and then the boards have legs, so nobody's really arching too bad.
The problem is Tom's only like about 5'7", 5'8".
He's got to stand on his tippy toes. Yep. Bobby's going for a pass here, right over the middle, on 1st and 10 after the return. That's going to be incomplete. Looked like it went wide. Yep, went wide. So Bobby's got to kind of get that passing back under control. He's got his guys right there. There's plenty of time left.
And, there is plenty of time, almost over 30 minutes here left in the game. But do you feel the game's starting to kind of surge?
It's starting to get a little bit. Look, you can't handle that defense. I mean, what do you do with that? Bobby did everything right and gets tackled from behind from 25 yards. You got to respect that. You just got to come back and answer at that point.
Well, as we said earlier in the broadcast a couple times already, I mean, yes, you want to win your conference championship. That's what you're shooting for. But this game really doesn't have much impact on the playoffs. I mean, both of these teams are still in the playoffs until they're knocked out. And then because of the uniqueness of how we're structured, there's that fallback position. Either one of these guys could potentially end up in a Rose Bowl.
Yeah, why not?
And it's just
yeah. Yep, that's true. Unless they're in the final, one of the two of them basically are going to either end up in the national championship or they're going to end up in the Rose Bowl.
And let's not forget Michigan and Damon, because we were having this discussion a little bit earlier. He's kind of in the mix too.
Yeah, don't forget about that.
I mean, if he goes on, say North Dakota State and White both get knocked out, but Damon's able to get into that second or maybe third round before he goes, well, he's going to be the front runner for the Rose Bowl. So, and we do have USC in the house. We've got Utah. We've got some Pac-12 guys. So, we can have a traditional Rose Bowl.
Yeah, so there's that defense again, backing them up another couple of yards. Yeah, 10-yard loss on the play. Currently going on, we got the SEC championship just kicking off. Mr. Pep Woods, Ruesink McDaniel. We should have a wrap up of the Red River Shootout here in just a little bit. They started just a little bit ahead of this game. Each game has its own independent clock. So
I was just doing a quick body count in the room. We're still holding at 22 coaches right now. That's counting 23 because Pat kind of cashed out early. He's like, look,
I think his wife was having surgery,
yeah,
so we hope she does pretty well with that.
Yeah. We can get her back on the mend quick, but he's like, I just need to tap out tonight. I'm going to play tomorrow, and I'm going to give it everything I got. So, we're at that about magical 25 number or so. So it's lining up to be about as good as we can expect for tomorrow.
Yep, so sack on second down, bringing up 3rd and 20. Defense is just staying alive.
How about this matchup coming up? 1 versus 3. this game, we got some unfinished business here. Hopefully Hawaii can hold it together. We don't need another big score. I think it's going to just be unsurmountable this late in the game. I'd like to see Bobby put together a really good string of plays here. Get on down the field.
Look for a pass, and that's going to be incomplete. There. 4th down and 20. Be a 1-minute change of possession. 27:52 to go. The clock is stopped for exactly 1 minute. And then we'll be back and rolling. What a great group of guys. It's so cool to see all this come together. I want to see if we can get ourselves in the booth. I don't think we've been, well, we might have been in the booth one time here.
Oh, we got caught probably snoozing off, drifting off there for a minute.
Well, I tell you what, let's go here.
Jimbo's stealing our thunder.
Yeah, Jimbo is right in. He put like some chrome dome on top of there or
Yeah.
something shiny off that light.
I ain't got much room to talk.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of snow left on the mountain, but it ain't. I don't do that. No,
Yeah. Slide over this way for us.
Hey, you know, I get it enough for my kids at home. I don't need you two guys.
It's just the lighting is great in here, Jimbo. I mean,
Turtle wax.
turtle wax.
well. At least if you get your head rained on, it's like waterproof. But
Yeah. There we go. There we go. You'll see over on the right-hand side of your screen, there's a Big Ten trophy. Winner of this game takes that and picks it up, and it's
Yep.
theirs.
Yep.
Have at it.
Can I reach that thing?
Yeah, you might be able to. Oh, got it.
There we go.
There, woo!
Here. Right there.
Clock's running.
Nice Big Ten trophy.
Yeah, there it
A
is.
lot of hardware in the room. Every bowl has its own unique trophy. All the conference championships. So we're just going to be giving away loot the whole weekend.
Yeah, we gave away 13 trophies already, with a whole lot more to go.
Heisman winner for
The
the
cool
year.
part is we wanted to reward even coaches that may not have necessarily qualified. If you didn't have the qualifications from the games, maybe you didn't have that many or something, that's okay. You can still play. So if you're like on the fence, you're watching tonight, and you're like, I want to play, and you're part of the MFBCS, but you didn't have enough games, if you can get here, we can get you a bowl.
Well, a bowl and, tons of first and second team All-Americans tonight.
Oh, shoot.
The list just, I think every coach in the room clapped for every single name that I announced, just for the All-Americans. And just such a great product that's put together here. It's a joy to even have been a part of all this for us. And, we're getting tons of pats on the backs and attaboys and, man, your stuff's good and all that. But listen, it's everybody in this room that makes what we do what we do.
That's going to bring up a second down. No gain on the play. Oh, there it was. I apologize. It looks like he ran out. 2nd and 15. We'll get it right.
Bobby really needs to bring some pressure here and do a little of that gamble on defense. I think
He's going to have to get himself in a position for a
turnover.
turnover.
Blitz, do a little stunt up the middle. He needs a break here. It seems like up to this point, all the good breaks have went
Towards the edge of the
Bison
basic.
way.
Yeah, I agree with that wholesomely.
Hawaii's trying to bring the
This
ball
game's
out on a
this
couple
game's
of threes.
closer. This game is closer than what the score reflects.
Yeah.
If I could, from a momentum standpoint, right now, it's pretty much it's back and forth. I mean, it's not
Well,
really a
and
huge
I had
thing.
the game start going into it. The odds at North Dakota was a 1-point favorite.
Yep.
At 18-17, we're nearly there, and we could still potentially get there.
Yeah. So we'll see a 2nd and 15 coming up. Bison are on offense. They'll be going from left to right on your screen in those dark green jerseys and the gold pants. Nice looking team. And we've got the Hawaii Warriors in all white, painted by Rafik McDaniel. If you haven't had a chance to see those things up in person, that's super nice.
Multicolored face mask.
Oh, geez. Too much.
Just,
Too much.
And the Bison are cool because, we were here.
Quarterback rollout.
We
That's
were
what
here
got
back
him like.
to do the Dallas Super Bowl.
Yep.
In late January, and it was the championship game to what was the old Division II or the FCS now, Championship Series.
Yep.
North Dakota, as they typically do almost every year, was in that championship game, and so the hotel we were staying at was just absolutely flooded with that green and gold.
Oh, yes, it was.
It was just cool to see,
Incomplete pass, ran out of time. 3rd down and 15 to go.
Could we see the first crack here?
He lost a little bit of offensive momentum. That is a possibility.
Both these guys kind of locked in. They're doing their. I'm big on watching body language and facial expression and things, and it really says kind of the state of mind of where a coach is at any particular. And I'm just seeing this. Bobby is just really, really locked in right now, almost to the point of maybe being a little too tight. He realizes the clock's winding down. He's got to get a couple of scores here. Tom's in really good shape. Tom's just playing Tom. He's just being Mr. Cool. Not much rattles Tom, and it's just we're gonna see a finish here that's probably going to live up to its 1 point advanced billing here. I just don't see much of a. Sooner or later, Hawaii's got to get a break to go their way. They got to get a pick. They got to get a busted play somewhere. Tom would be wise not to force this, even with a deep 3rd and 15. Play your game, punt the ball away.
Yeah, absolutely. Get the first down. Get the first down. I mean, that's the deal. I mean, yes, you want to score, but what you don't want to do is do something too risky and end up having a pick six situation.
You kind of need to look at the left-hand side now. He's going to pivot him out now. I was going to say he kind of had the slot guy kind of at an angle to peel off that tight end. And he's kind of pivoting him out. Looks like he's going to run him in a bunch of traffic here on the left side of your screen. Wentz has had a good game. He's managed the game. He hasn't had to really force the ball down the field yet.
Nice pressure. He did have a guy slip out of
your screen, about the 36, 37 yard line. He's coming here. Right as you're saying, I'm looking at the camera.
We've got about 9 screens on us right now. 4th down, incomplete pass.
And that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. You know, you got to make those. When you get an opportunity to kind of slam the door shut, you got to hit those passes.
And that's going to be a 1-minute change of possession.
Yeah, that was 4th.
Yeah. It went to 4th and they opted to punt. So I think they're 47-yard punts, I believe is what it is. So clock
looks like Brittany, one of our Thunder Valley League mates, that's my daughter for those of you that don't know, somewhere lurking in the background, I'm sure. Miss Princess Caroline is probably getting close to her bedtime. As she traditionally does, she jumps on the broadcast, wants to say hi to Uncle Bubby and Pop Pop, so I'm sure she's getting ready to cash out for the night. She's around there somewhere. So Caroline, we're going to be here a couple, 3 more days doing some business, and we're going to be back to you probably on Monday evening.
I'm thinking we might throw out an early poll. We haven't done a poll in a while, but we might have to throw a poll for this next game coming up. I don't want to overshadow this particular game, but
well, I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you right now that I picked the game at even. 26 up.
Woo!
Even. I mean, it's a you pick 'em game. You flip a coin. However you want to break it down and look at it. This ACC game is just, I think we're in for an instant classic, to say the least. I think it's going to be a supercharged game. There's sides already forming over this. There's been trash talk for weeks. I don't know how you get much bigger than what's about to happen until maybe it's going to take a national championship game to kind of rival it. But nonetheless, we got some unfinished business here with 22 minutes to go in the game. Still, Hawaii's there. You know, they just got to turn the corner once or twice here, and they really had, in all fairness, they really haven't had much of a break. They tried to run the ball out a couple, 3 times, didn't work out. Got tackled deep in their interior there, and missed a few key passes.
That's a big time sack again. Kind of pinned him under in the 5-yard line and got him again. Wow. Backed him up about 3 yards.
now's not the time to throw the towel in. I mean, you're under pressure here. I mean, the storm's on your doorstep. You've got to do something. Just pick up the first down and get some kind of momentum here. But when you're backed up, shadow your own goalpost there, you're pretty limited what you can do. And this, if ever in a part of the game that Hawaii needed a break, it's right here.
Yeah, they've
they
got
need to break a play somehow.
Absolutely. So for those of you that have been following GBN for a while, you know we like to do a little bit of fun stuff. If you haven't had a chance, when this game's over, head over to the GBN page on Facebook, and we did a little fun contest, a little trivia. We're going to be wrapping that up tomorrow evening, so I have enough time to make sure we get a winner for it. But basically, we have a lot of 3D printed stuff. If you go and read the post, you'll be able to see it and take a guess. You don't have to know a licking thing about 3D printing. Just take a guess. You can kind of see the crazy hours. We're going to reveal the answer to it. There's been a lot of people asking questions about it, so we said, well, we'll have a little trivia with it. So if you haven't made a guess already, head over. It's right there on one of the first top pages. You can, or if you comment on one of them that were shared, that's fine too. We'll catch it. So it'll be pretty easy. Going to be a first down. Nice little run.
There's that break. He had to.
Yeah, he had it. So if you haven't had a chance, head over there at the end of this game. Throw your vote in there. It's just an open forum. Say what you think. You'd be surprised. I'll just say it like this. It's not 2 hours and it's not 2 million hours, but it's somewhere in between. We've got to calculate it.
Like 2 million.
I am not going to lie to you. It didn't feel like 2 million hours. Just a kind of a glimpse, every board has 4 3D printed corners that really kind of set the decoration of the board off. There are 23 boards, a little over 90 plus corners. They've got badges on all of them. Trophies are 3D printed. Salty's award was 3D printed. 3D printing is pretty heavy flavored in this room, but came off really, really nice. So just one of those things. But it's not just we want your opinion. There's an opportunity to win a prize. If you haven't seen them, the GBN board risers, if you've got like a stock board or maybe you just want to dress up your board, we're actually giving away a set. No purchase necessary, no gimmicks, just literally guess, put it in there. It's the Price is Right rules. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or not, but closest to the number that we have configured without going over is the winner. And if we get a tie, well, we'll figure that out. We may have to do something extra. It was first down after a really nice play from Hawaii to kind of get out of that really bad predicament they're in. Going for a pass. And that's incomplete. That ball kind of lobbed a little bit. I think he was going to the guy about the 31-yard line.
And I was just looking at our official referee, Jimbo. He's got his Illinois Fighting Illini face mask on. He's got a big, huge eye on it. And I'm trying to figure out if he's got it on upside down or not.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, he did take the eye patch off.
Yeah.
So he's back. He's doing a better job now. Now you can see with both eyes.
At least now he's got an excuse.
You know, we don't have workman's comp for the referees.
No. Nor should we.
Nor should we. It's a felt football.
Yeah.
Like the size of a Q-tip.
Yeah.
Is that a brand? Procter & Gamble. Keep digging holes. But. 2nd and 10. Incomplete pass.
Well, he did well, though. He didn't, start crying. He held
That's
it
true.
In. He held it in.
He did. I mean, he did.
This is a part of the game that you either get with it and start making it happen, or you start to slowly fade away here. And let's see what Hawaii's got in them. I haven't known this team to really quit or give up.
Got guys open. Nothing wrong with that. Right over the middle again at about the 28. Heading towards the left side of your screen.
Really needs to hit this pass. He got some real estate in front of him. Looks like he hit a 5-minute ball.
Sailed him.
Skyrocketed.
If that was going at the other 28,
yeah,
that might have been good.
I think he caught his left guard right in the back of the head, and it just kind of launched.
3rd down. 3rd and 10. Bobby and Tom, both very fierce competitors. Bobby, extremely enthusiastic, does a lot of really cool stuff with Hawaii. We've seen the videos and a lot of really nice
and
stuff.
You gotta love his effort and his passion to promote the game, promote his team in Hawaii. But I'm getting a feeling a little bit, and we've been here before with a lot of different coaches. This is about when the limit of what experience does for you. Now, Bobby's played a lot of big games. He's won some coaches' challenges, been in some Elite Eights, wins a lot of games there in the boardroom, as we call it.
And he did, yeah, really cool setup up there.
Yeah, and what you're seeing now, though, is I think the limitation on experience. He's been around a year and a half, 2 years, and he's learned his lessons really, really well. But here's where a deep seasoned veteran, somebody 5 years, 10 years, 15 years in the game, I think will have a bigger toolbox to go and say, this situation, I remember this in 2015, and what did I do? Oh, I did that play. And I think it's just showing that he's just limited to where he's at right now.
And we're going to go backwards as the Bison defense just continue to pile on the sacks. Going to take them into a 4th down situation. All the way back inside the 10-yard line. And I think you have to go for it here. You're down.
Have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's my little princess. We call her 2.0. She's a second remake version of my daughter Brittany, my wife Miss Gayla there, who's our general manager.
General manager, and put a heck of a lot of work into these boards
every
herself.
Board in this room was hand painted by her and decorated. She's the one responsible for all the leather cutting and the inlaid leather, most of the side art. I mean, just in all actuality, she probably did more than the rest of us.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Hanging on late there, back home, holding down the fort, and like I said, as we always do, traditionally I hear from my little granddaughter, and she just gets a kick and a giggle when I talk about her on the TV, as she calls it. So.
Yep, it happens. We got some cool stuff for her, though.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't
As
made
always.
a stop at Buc-ee's, if you ever see a Buc-ee's,
Yeah.
that's a pretty cool place. Barely escaped out of there, but he's got a man way deep. Now, this is where that lob pass that he was working on earlier is going to come in. And I will tell you this, I saw it with my own eyes. Bobby last night made an 80-yard pass, no problem. He can do it. That's no doubt. Holy cow.
In the right buttock, as Forrest Gump would
Oh,
say.
my.
It just jumped up and bit him.
Oh, man.
$1
million wound right there,
And
baby.
this receiver does have a little giddy up in him. This should kind of close the gap here a little bit, because now what we have seen a couple plays before is the safety.
40,
that's not
30,
gonna be there. Just
20,
trying to turn
10,
it on, but he's
5,
not.
end zone,
That's
touchdown.
That's exactly what Hawaii needed.
17-12.
It will be an onside kick at the conclusion of this field goal.
Close your eyes, Jimbo. You need to have at least one good one.
He's got a visor on now.
Yeah.
We should have just made one of those face shields.
Yeah.
Like one of the clear face shields. That's what would be more
I still think
appropriate.
he's got his mask on upside down. It's hard to tell which way.
Is
the
it?
eyes
But
are.
if his mask is on upside down, is the visor on upside down?
Could be.
Kick is good,
Yep. That's exactly what Hawaii ordered up.
and they've got to go for.
They're watching straight ahead. It's a tough line.
It was over, 100%.
That'd be a 10, 11, or 12. 11 or 12. Go on. For good luck.
Yahtzee.
No good.
Count 9 yards off.
Taken from the 30, ball 9 yards. First and 10 from the 41. Or 39.
It's a dice roll for the onside kick, and
And we kind of went to this format a while back to save time. I mean, we've been in tournaments and games where setting up for an onside kick took 15 minutes before they could set it. So you can get penalized 9 yards. Well, actually not penalized, but that's all the further the ball goes, and it's been recovered. The dice was meant to speed up the results, not having to look for an onside kick apparatus. And like I said, we've been in some games 12, 15 minutes to set up to do an onside kick. But that certainly helped out the Warriors. They put them back in the game here. Now you got to lock down this defense. You can't just trade a touchdown for a touchdown and expect to get anywhere.
Clock is rolling. 13 to go. As the Bison take over after a failed onside kick from Hawaii at the 41-yard line. I think the Bison go back conservative, but they've got to be careful. They've got to continue to pick up first downs. They're in a position with this kind of time left. I mean, Hawaii could come right back.
And I'd like to see Hawaii be able to cash in on one more of those. You know, they've kind of been cheated. I don't want to say cheated because no one's cheated, but they just haven't gotten their share of the lucky breaks.
Well, you look at this: a pick six, or basically an interception converted to a touchdown, and a ridiculous tackle from behind, 25-yard gap to close. And that's the difference in the game.
Yeah.
That's the difference in the game right now. So it's not that Hawaii's playing terrible. It's not that at all. It's just you've got some breaks that have went the Bison's way, and what do you do? I mean, you play football. That's all you can do. Here we go. 10 up the middle. Quarterback keeper. Got a short gain on the play. It's going to bring up second down. A little better than I thought from this angle.
Again, I'm watching just body language and gestures and things, and I'm seeing Bobby look up and down his bench. One of the few coaches that actually thinks that if you have a player in uniform, he needs to be in the game. He probably has the best utilization of his full roster than anybody that we've seen, and that's indicative of even like when we did the awards. No big stat monsters, no big dominators, but they just do it all together. And I've been watching him pretty much the whole game. Every play, it's 2 or 3 people substitute. And he uses that bench and he does well with it.
Yep, here we go. And I think at this point, Bison are under, like I said, they're under clock control at this point. The thing is, both teams will have timeouts. Hawaii has 2. I mean, that's a lot of stoppages. You can break this up and end up stopping this clock and slowing some of this setup stuff down.
And still, I mean, even with coming up on 10 minutes in the game now, it's still no reason to get away from your game plan. Whatever brought you here is what's got you in a 4-point game in a conference championship. There's no reason to abandon your game plan or trying to start. Maybe take a risk when you can. A calculated risk would be a good opportunity, but and Bobby's done some of that. Bobby's kind of riverboat gambled some of this stuff early, and it just hasn't materialized for him.
Got a man open at the 19, right-hand side of your screen. Pass is complete. Going to angle him towards the out of bounds to try to avoid that safety over the top. 19 yards, 17 yards for pay dart. Let's see Bobby putting that second finger down, trying to figure out his angle. It is all about the angles here. And got him. Great tackle. That's the kind of defense that you need. That should be good enough for a first down. Down inside the 5-yard line at the 4. 9:09 to go in the ball game. How close is your spread? 1 point. We're not doing bad here.
I said early on, North Dakota 18-17, and that's only just kind of what the numbers bared out.
Sure.
What I find more often than not that in big type games, teams will tend to play their averages. They
Yeah.
tend to play kind of like, there's not going to be any huge deviation. If you're an 18 to 20 point offense per game, you're not going to come out here and bust out for 55 or 60. If you're a defense that don't give up but maybe 15 or 20 a game, you're not going to let somebody hang 42 on you.
Right.
So the bigger the game, teams tend to kind of stay within their own elements. And especially when you get a game like this where these guys have already played in the regular season, they're fairly familiar with each other. And you throw somebody else in there from the Pac-12 or the SEC, maybe it doesn't hold so true. And what Tom needs to do here, he just needs to put this one in the garage and shut the door. And
Yep. So there's a question in the chat about the onside kick. We'll get clarification exactly. I don't want to tell somebody incorrectly about the way the onside kick works. Essentially, it's a dice roll, though. I believe it might be something to the effect of evens. It's an onside recovered by the offense, and odds it's recovered by the defense. But I'll clarify. That's a nice pass. Rocked him for a touchdown. Right on the right-hand side of your screen. That is going to be a 6-pointer, and North Dakota State going up 23-13. Clock stops, 7:27 to go. So I'll get clarification to exactly what that looks like. I want to make sure I don't tell you guys incorrectly on those onside kicks. It's a little new in tournament format. What we'll see a lot is an actual contraption where the ball is hanging on a string, kind of suspended above the field, and then you're able
I'm
to.
getting ready to catch this one in the booth. And he hit the very tip top of the board. And
Wow.
once again,
Kick is
bounce.
good. But there's a contraption where that ball's suspended, and then it's a race to go hit it. There's slow-mo cameras and everything else that have to get involved. And I like the dice, but it kind of just sped it up. It was a dice roll, and that was it. But I'll get clarification for you guys. Good question, though. So clock will start after a 1-minute change of possession, and again, that gives everybody enough time. You've got to get your offense and your defense off the field and bring out your right personnel. It's not just you've got 22 men, you've got 11 on offense and 11 on defense for your own team. These guys run 60-man rosters a lot of times, and because there's so many unique situations, if you've got maybe a wide receiver that is just getting beat, you've got to maybe change that out and find maybe he needs an inside curl. Well, you're not going to go and adjust that base in the game, so you'll bring in a different guy for a little bit of different situation. Or if you've got a situation where you've got it's a run heavy game. Maybe your guys are just doing a little better on the board. You need an extra lineman or a different tight end. So 60 guys, and you got to get that right personnel in a minute to do it. It sounds pretty easy. But when you're under the gun, when you're under the lights, not so much. So it will be 1st and 10 for Hawaii. Almost got sacked there. Didn't call his receiver. You have to declare your receiver whenever you make the pass. That way there's no guesswork to it as to who actually you're passing. And, I meant to throw to him, and then not be the actual right receiver. So didn't call it, so it's incomplete. 2nd 10. Even though the pass was physically complete, it's just the way that the rules are wrote to be able to do that. And we'll get some scores around the room here in just a little bit. We've got the Red River Shootout. It should be wrapping up now. And then we've got the SEC Championship, which is between Ruesink McDaniel, Pep Woods. That's sitting over here to my right. So some good action going on. Lots of games going on. So when Dad comes back to the booth, we'll make sure to get that situated of who's winning. Bob Owens, Barry Stevenson, longtime friends. Long-time rivalry over there playing some electric football. Oh, man, another massive sack. Going to back him up. That's going to bring up 3rd down. We'll get our yardage here as soon as they finish the marking. Looks like that's going to be 3rd and 15. That's about the 5th or 6th sack. 5th or 6th sack right now from the Bison. And they've just continued to pour on that defense. And that's been, in my opinion, the difference in this game. Here we go. Bobby's just taking his time, making sure he's got things set up. 4 minutes to go. He can, if he gets smart with his timeouts and play some defense, he can definitely come back. Down 11. So he could still do it in 2 scores here. 2 touchdowns would put him back in the lead. Primetime game coming up after this. 4 minutes and 30 seconds, where we will be dropping this feed to be able to reset the board. We don't want it to go kind of crazy. We're going to do a little camera work adjustment offline, so stand by for that. I expect that game to kick off somewhere, we're Central Time, so somewhere around 10:30, 10:35. That would be about the earliest, but electric football has its own time zone, and it's probably going to be more like 10:45 Central before that ACC championship game that everybody's been talking about, looking for, between Darren Jamani and Brian Phillips. Takes a underway, incomplete pass, 4th and 15. This will probably wrap it up here if it's not converted. This will take us just under the 3-minute mark. Brian Miller says he loves this hobby. We all do, man. This is, just to be honest with you, a little personal testimony. This hobby has brought me through a lot, and I don't know where I would be without it. GBN, the GBN Nation, absolutely same way. It's a lot of work, but it's so rewarding to see it all come together, and it's a reward that you can't get anywhere else. The satisfaction of essentially what is my closest friends, and they're all over the world and all over the country at this point, in the same room with each other, having a great time. With everything going on, the climate of everything that's going on right now, this is much needed break. I'll just say it like that. Oh, nearly got him, but missed him cut just a bit inside. Two minutes to go. Pass is complete. Got a lead blocker out at the 16-yard line. Got a quick tackle down at the 24, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. And then 1:42 to go. We're going to let it roll, and we're going to let it run out. Congratulations to Tom Ruesink as he takes down the Hawaii Warriors. That is a fantastic game, folks.